What's going on, everyone? Non-TCG, and I want to apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather, so my voice is a little raspy. But it's time for This Week in Distro, and holy shit, it is barren out there. So let's start with Magic. Looks like some pre-orders started for Aether Drift. We have not seen the pre-order window open up quite yet from our end. It may have Friday, but I missed it because there's a lot of people, a lot of reps who are out on vacation. I did see MinMax Games, I believe, had a pre-order for collector booster case for basically $200 per, so $1,200. Magazine Exchange is a little expensive here, and again, this is the Magazine Exchange specials. This is a public site, so anybody can look at this. So that's Aether Drift. Who knows what's going on with that set? Innistrad Remastered. So here's what's interesting. So we've gotten allocation from two of the big four. We've asked for a sizable chunk, but I think between both of them, we are just under 10% of what we've asked for collector's boosters. And quite honestly, when we found out, we're like, yeah, it's good news and bad news. The good news is there's not a whole lot of risk. The bad news is if it's a banger product, we have enough for the store, and that's about it. So I still have no idea what's going on with this set. The fact that there's not a whole lot of news out there, not a whole lot of spoilers, it's just a weird time. It's a weird time between the set and the holiday, and releasing spoilers on cards that are underpowered and 5 years old. But we'll see. Commander decks, Bloomburrow. So we've been told all these commander decks, they're going to be plentiful, right? So Bloomburrow, Lord of the Rings. I think Fallout also, and Ixalan. Ixalan came out last week, and distribution went from as many as you need to effectively sending out 10%, pretty much across the board from what we've heard. So I know a lot of folks have looked at these, and the price of the 4 set is through the roof. So for example, Bloomburrow's $300+ at 130 on distribution. Obviously there's a ton of margin to be made there, but if stores can only get 10% of what they asked or ask for, or 24 of them, 36 of them, whatever, outside of the big boys, I don't think it's going to move the price a whole heck of a lot. So that's that. A lot of blowouts, still trying to get rid of Kamigawa, Baldur's Gate, Kaldheim. I mean, all these late age COVID sets, or there's just so much of it out there. I don't really care what anybody says. It's everywhere. I mean, Jumpstart's still available at $76. Everybody thought that was going to be a banger to hold on to 2.5 years ago. Commander Masters, there's just so much of this shit out here. Okay, moving on. Collectors, Brothers War, Commander Masters still, Dominaria United. I don't know if anybody's paid attention to Amazon, but Amazon has dumped a bunch of these products at good $60 to $80 below TCG Player. So I would pay attention. It looks like they have a year-end push, probably trying to make numbers or trying to get inventory down, a little bit of both. So I would pay attention to Amazon, especially the Wizards part. It's a good place to look. Moving to Pokemon, GTS has nothing. Alliance has nothing. PhD and Magazine Exchange, as we'll see, they're sort of kind of in the same boat. But let's go down. So as you can see, the Shrouded Fable still available. ETBs, Stellar Crown ETBs, a bunch of new tins coming out. I don't really care about these. So Paldea Evolved. Let's start. SV Base sold out everywhere. Now there may be excuse me. There may be some of them out there, but if there are, they're super limited. In fact, let's go back to Magazine Exchange here. It doesn't say anything here. And Pokemon Center sold out. Okay, Paldea Evolved. Nothing available here. Pokemon Center sold out. Shocking, right? It's going to be a common theme. Obsidian Flames. So they do have booster displays. They're limited to how many you can buy. I believe PhD may have some as well. Pokemon Center, let me confirm before I put my foot in my mouth. They are sold out. So there's still a little bit of Obsidian Flames out there to be had. And that's part of the large restock that came a couple months ago. And again, I think this came from Pokemon Center. The same with Paradox Rift, because all of a sudden Pokemon Center does not have Paradox Rift or Obsidian Flames in stock. And it's not like these sets were trading north of $120. I mean, they are now. But for the longest time, they're $100, $105. And nobody was buying them on Pokemon Center unless, it was just a random one-off who's like, I'm going to buy Pokemon from Pokemon. So, all right, Paradox Rift. There are still some booster displays. They're at $112 from Distro. I should go back and touch on that for Obsidian, $125 now. Here, $112. And Paradox Rift. Let's see. Paradox Rift is sold out. I don't know why I was hesitating there. Moving on, Temporal. Temporal Forces is gone from all of the distributors. However, Pokemon Center has a lot of it in stock. I believe it's there because it's being staged. It's good distribution. So I would imagine shortly into the new year, Temporal is going to have a restock with distribution. That's of decent size. So at least stores will have something, because that's probably all they're going to have. All right. Stellar Crown, sold out here. On Pokemon Center, it is available. There's only about 7,000 boxes available on Pokemon Center. The Forgotten set is going to go out of stock very quickly. On TCG Player, I think there's like 300 boxes, maybe a little bit less. But that's probably the last set that's going to be reprinted among all these sets. And quite honestly, it's my favorite. Just because it's a little bit of Forgotten. It's actually a really good set. It's a small set, but it is what it is. And then Surging Sparks, nowhere, nothing. Outside of big box stores, if you get lucky, it's completely gone. So that reminds me. They've taken all of their stuff down here. I mean, they don't even have the sleeve boosters of Twilight Masquerade. So Twilight Masquerade is still for sale in Pokemon Center. There are under 4,000 boxes remaining. So unless there is a reprint coming for all of these products, it is going to be stocked out very, very quickly. There will be no way to get any of these from anyone. So, not to say panic, but if you're a store that focuses on Pokemon, I mean, what you have now is basically what you're going to keep, and the only thing you're going to have for a couple months here. Prismatic. Obviously, not a whole lot of that to stores. I know most of the distributors, they've put out small amounts to stores, 20, 30 ETBs, which is kind of the max first round, just to make sure everybody gets a taste. There may be some coming out to some of the larger stores. Hopefully us. We'll see. Right before the set releases. But there's such a wide net and people just begging for free money here. It's absolutely insane. And then there's so much of the product that's out to big box stores. It's just, it's kind of crazy. And then you have 151 with Blooming Waters right after it. We did get one allocation. It was okay. We have not gotten the rest. And I know there have been a few videos on folks talking about them. But as the big four go, generally GTS is the first group to come out, and Alliance tends to be last. And then PhD and Southern somewhere in the middle. So, I would imagine there's going to be a bunch of activity, excuse me, going into the new year. But it's barren out there. There's almost no way to get Pokemon outside of a little bit of Paradox and a little bit of Obsidian Flames through two of the distributors. And that's it. So anyway, guys, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll pick it up next week.